Okay, it looks like I am live, even though there's a spinning wheel here, but it looks like I am live. Welcome, everybody. I'm Denise Cambiotti, and I'm here for the Can Be Well 11 minutes of inspiration. And how many of you wish your booking calendar was fuller? I'll share 2 tips to increase your client return and referral rates. So stand by and let me talk to you a little bit about that. But first of all, let me make sure I hit uh, my timer here so I don't talk your ear off. All right, so I promised you 2 tips to increase your client return and referral rates. And I know if you've taken training in any modality, your instructors would have told you before you start anything, take a measurement and be sure to have your client notice something before you begin. You need to identify what their concern is so you can serve them well. And this is a really basic piece of advice, but do you do it? Do you really do it? Do you really get your client to go, see, I can lift this arm really well and do all this with it, but this one, when I get it to like this spot, it needs, a little nudge and it really hurts or it binds. And then when it gets over here, I can do it's not too bad. So get them to notice something, measure something. And people go, well, I don't know what to measure. Well, you can measure pain or limited range of motion, as I just showed you. You can also measure vitality level, or you can just say, uh, what else is going on that is a hiccup for you? Find something that they like, why are they there? Most people will come in and say, I've got a problem. So, of course, you're going to change that and say, so you have a challenge with something, because challenges can be overcome. So, show me what's difficult. That's so basic. Now, you're going to do something, and whatever it is you're trained in, you do it. And do you remember the secret sauce is to measure that something that they did at the beginning, to measure it again? So at the beginning, they noticed X, and now they start going, well, that's different. So now you have them connecting to, for example, Y, or X and Y. First it's this way, now it's changed. And there's extraordinary value in this because, first of all, you're giving them the gift of connecting to their body and recognizing, first of all, something's changed. So, do you not think that when their eyeballs go, wow, something's different now, that they won't want to go and tell somebody about it and say, I don't know what just happened, but I just spent some time with Denise, or, insert your name here, and I didn't expect a change so fast, but something happened, and they'll talk about you. So first of all, that is the prize for you, but for them is their body and their nervous system recognizes there's been a shift. And that trains them to be able to observe when they get in a little bit of a stuck pattern in the future, to not wait till it gets so bad, but they'll think about you again and say, hey, I don't have to put up with this lack of vitality, this tiredness. I don't have to put up with this discomfort, this pain. I can go see that person again. So there's that gift, because they are recognizing sooner rather than later that they're heading down a slippery slope, and it'll be easier to work with them when they're not right at the very bottom all in a tangled heap. Now, another thing that happens when you do a measurement is, it's very, very important, is you are activating the nervous system. And I appreciated this greater after I took some training with Dr. Wally Schmidt. He's one of the fellows who trained with Dr. George Goodhart and Dr. Thie, and the gang of them were creating the applied kinesiology system. And Dr. Goodhart, I never heard him quote this directly. I'm so happy that Dr. Wally Schmidt really put this into my memory bank. He said, Dr. Goodhart says, measure, measure, measure. And apparently he was reputed as telling his doctors and people training with him, never skip the step. It's so valuable. And I did take some training with Richard Utt, who created the applied physiology system. And that's where I really appreciated that when you can activate something and get the nervous system going, about something, and then you do something right away, the nervous system helps to neutralize the challenge. And then you remeasure, and the person goes, wow, it is different. So it is a critical piece if you're working in the field of bioenergetics and you haven't grasped this concept yet. I urge you to make sure that you too measure, measure, measure all the way through. I'll do something and I'll have them get up and say, show me that again. So off the massage table they go and they bend over, or they do exactly what they did. And they go, it's a little bit better. And their eyeballs always, because this stuff works. Okay. So you have to open them up to the potential that magic is happening. And it is based in science, but when you don't understand how it all goes, it does look like magic. And then I said, okay, come back on the massage table and we'll tidy up the rest of what's going on there. And it's so important that they get a taste that something is possible, something's happening, and they get excited, and then they participate even more fully in the session. So then you measure again every time you've done something. Keep measuring, keep measuring, keep measuring. And they keep going, okay, there's some improvement, or there's no improvement. You go, okay, well, let's stop doing that. Let's do something different. So that if you do something different, you will end up getting a different result. So it's so important to measure. And so that's the very first tip, is get them excited that changes are happening, and they're happening faster than they expected, because most people, they come and they think, oh, I'm going to have to come for 3 or 4 sessions before I notice anything. So help them notice as soon as possible. At the very minimum, you notice ouch at the beginning, and before they go out the door, they notice, okay, I'm on the road to something shifting, or it's completely gone. How did you do that? So the gift for them is to recognize that you're a provider of a solution that they've been seeking, and they'll talk about you to their friends and their family. So the next thing I want to say is the second tip is, now you've got their attention, and what you're going to do to help build your referral rate is to say, oh, by the way, you've noticed, as you can see, challenges can improve very quickly with these methods. So I'd really appreciate you passing along my business card to a friend, because I have a couple of openings at the moment for some new clients. So they understand that, oh, there's a special opening, and they could go and tell a friend who will appreciate knowing that there's this modality that you offer out there that might offer them some relief. Now, the other thing that is a little tricky is, as you hand them a business card, hand them 2. All right. So when you say, here's my business card, and I'd appreciate if you share that with somebody, when you notice these changes have happened for you, and that, like, tomorrow you notice, wow, this really happened, please pass my business card along to a friend. But you hand them 2, and you say, I have a couple of openings for new clients at the moment, and they'll get the message and they'll pass out 2 cards, hopefully, or they'll tell 2 friends about you, and electronically. They might not necessarily have to hand over a business card, but they get the message. And if you're not seeing people face to face, make that call to action to them before you end this. If you're doing a virtual over Zoom or some other platform, make sure you make that offer. And if you are handing out cards, say, oh, and would you like more than this? And they might say, yeah, I can think of 3 or 4 people. Then just give them the 4 cards, and with the intention that, great, send them out in the world and see if they land with somebody that resonates, that this might work for them. And then sit back and see what happens, and let your clients do the work for you. So my story was, uh, I started a few systems and I trained in SIPs, and that stress indicator point system. And Ian Stubbings came over from Australia, and I think I was in level 4, and he was at some point of the training, and I just couldn't contain myself anymore because there was an opening for what I had to say. And I put my hand up and I said, Ian, I have a bone to pick with you. And Ian is just a teddy bear. And he was like, what? And I says, you should have warned us when we started SIPS 1 that it would be so effective, that we would clear these challenges for our clients so completely, so quickly, that we needed to ask them to backfill because they're not even going to be coming every 2 or 3 weeks anymore. So I have openings in my clients, in my calendar, and I wish I'd have known that before I got started, because they only come every 2 or 3 months now, whereas they used to come every 2 or 3 weeks, which is what I celebrate. I don't want to work on the same challenges on the same person week in and week out. That is not where my heart lies. My heart lies in getting to the root, clearing it, and being so delighted when they come in the door with a new challenge another day that I might be able to help them with. So why didn't you tell us? So um, whatever your modality is, as you get better and better, it doesn't have to be in the SIPS system. And that's a little glowing advertisement I didn't really mean to throw into this, but that is exactly at that moment where I went, whoa, everybody in this room, are you having the same challenges? And some of them are nodding their heads, because we didn't expect this to work so fast and we didn't expect it to work so well. So if you are beginning in this field, just wait, because it does work this fast and it can work this well. So be prepared to ask for referrals. And so those are my tips for you, that are 2 most important tips to increase your client returns and referral rates. And remember, stay connected with the Canadian Association here of Bioenergetic Wellness. Follow them, see what their events are about, and take good care. And if you got questions, please get back to me. I'm Denise at muscletuners.fit, where we invite everybody to be strong, be confident, and be tuned.